Hi there, folks. John Brodrick. I'm here at the Metals Investor Forum again, and this time I'm speaking to Wade Hodges. He's the CEO of Nevada Exploration, and this company brings something to the table that's a little different and very exciting. Wade, could you tell the viewers what your company does? Because it's actually finding the gold in a different way, and it's really interesting to me.
It totally is, John. Thanks for having me here, and it is exciting. And I think it's something that people need to start understanding more about. It is new. But before, I just want to touch on the reason why it is that I do it. It's maybe going to sound a little different. It's not about as much making money, okay? It's not really finding gold. Okay, what I'm trying to do is simply wake up every morning and I wonder why this, why that, and why don't they make sense? Okay, it's like solving a puzzle.
So
for
this
40
whole
years,
thing is...
For 40 years, I've spent running around the hills of Nevada looking for gold and being impressed with the complexity, the problems, the issues, okay, and realizing that if we solve it, do a good job, we can find gold. And found 9 gold deposits in the state of Nevada over my life. And it's been very exciting to do that. And the problem is, what do you do when you extrapolate all this complex geology and the only place you have left to look now is under gravel cover? And you've got 65% of the state of Nevada is covered. That's covered area of an area of the world that's produced the largest concentration of multi-million ounce gold deposits per unit area of any place on the planet. Has never been looked at because it's covered. And I, as a geologist in charge of looking at the rocks, talk about what is, what isn't, make these models, and everybody's got a cartoon. But I realized what the real potential is out under the cover. And under this cover, what's the problem that we have to solve is to look under the cover, because everybody knows there's more gold deposits in Nevada for a lot of different geologic reasons. And so the one medium that no one has ever looked at has been groundwater, which is also everywhere.
Right, so your company does its own chemical analysis of groundwater, and that tells you how much gold is in the area and also potentially where that gold comes from. Isn't
Precisely.
that right?
It's very, very simple. Everybody gets it for the first time. Gold water, I never thought about it. Why not? Because if what you've got is water that comes from rain and snow, it's been derived from the oceans, it's evaporated, it's void of trace metals, and so it falls in the ranges in the winter in Nevada, flows down along the bedrock, and it interacts with the rocks, picking up any kind of chemicals that might be in the place. It's a universal solvent. So if it sees a gold deposit that's concentrated with lots of sulfur, lots of sulfide, pyrite, it oxidizes. That pyrite in Carlin systems is where the gold is associated.
Yes.
If you kill the pyrite, dissolve it, the trace metals and the gold have no place else to go but into the water. And that water plume then migrates down the hydrologic gradient. We know groundwater flows downhill. So we might not know all the intricacies, but we know that basically it flows downhill. So if we sample the water at the top of the range, we get no gold. We sample it farther downstream, no gold. Sample it even down at the range front, no gold. And we get out into the gravels and drilling holes and find water samples that now do have gold. We got to ask, where did it come from? Well, maybe we can bracket it by taking more detailed samples to where we can see this is where it's likely to flow from. And then you drill deeper into the bedrock to find the gold.
Right. And so how close of an area of sample do you have to do to actually narrow in on these things?
Well, we start with an initial very wide space grid, maybe 1,000 meters.
Okay.
Okay, and what we've found is that 400 meters is a little tighter, it's like a large net, and 200 meters is now focused enough to where the water plume starts to make sense and you can connect it with projected geology.
Okay.
And so you get an idea of where you want to start, the north end, the south end, and you can do this with technology that we've developed. We had to modify existing drilling equipment, and so we've used it for our purposes, so it's never really been done before. And it's working very well. That's one of the new things that recently I'm able to start talking about it, because I can feel like I can start to make promises now with a really good chance of keeping them.
Okay, now during the presentation for your company, I saw that you guys are now doing your surveys near a big project that a Barrick has, right?
Well, anywhere in Nevada, there's a big project.
Yeah.
there's a big gold mine.
Right.
You're not that far away. And everybody's models say, oh, I'm near this gold mine, that gold mine. It's everywhere. Well, why now? And we can make money in all these if there's a gold mine, but which one should I pick? Why should I pick your story? Well, our story is unique because we've got a layer that nobody else has. It's not just what we know along the range front, project this complexity out into a place we know even less, and hope for the best and drill holes, raise money, and maybe we get lucky. No, the other thing that we can add in now is what is the water chemistry? And that water chemistry takes a very large area and very quickly and very low cost reduces it to a much smaller place, to where now the high cost exploration dollars to drill through the alluvium into the bedrock can now potentially increase positive results sooner.
So you can really
Lower the
focus
cost.
where you have
It's
to do that
focusing. It's
expensive
focusing.
drilling.
In the past, it's all about focusing. You start big, work small, down, 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 and it creates a very systematic, consistent approach. 1, 2, 3. It's like a march. Left foot, right foot, left foot. You start with one foot in reality, you take your other foot and you test, you reach for it. I don't know, I'm not certain, I'm kind of concerned. And you put your foot out there and it is firm. And then you go again. And that's what we're doing, is walking forward, moving through the system, and we're now to the point where we've solved innumerable backstory problems to where I can now start talking about them. Not just say, gosh, Wade, you have a good idea, you found a gold deposit. Okay, great, you've proven the concept. You've de-risked it. And what have I done? Okay, if it really works, maybe you end up at that place and it's just a technical success, like it still could be. I'm not making promises that every gold anomaly in groundwater is a big economic deposit.
You have to do more drilling to see
You
what's
have to
there.
follow it up. But right now, the problem is it's a new concept. How do we demonstrate to people? As an investor, I don't really care about all the details and understanding. I just want to be shown that you can do it. And so, but some people are sitting there and say, you know, I do like to be in the process and I do get it. And these are the clues. And so I owe it to people to explain how far we are along and how close we are, so where everybody else can now decide risk-wise, where do it fit in my profile.
Okay. Well, speaking of how far you are and showing things, what can people look to see from your company, say, over the course of the next year?
If you can, we've got results that we're currently drilling. They're coming back all the time, and they'll be posted soon in a news release. That then you go to the website and you look in more detail. And you can
Where are
see.
those results from? Where in Nevada?
Right now, we've got 3 projects. Okay, one we call Kelly Creek Basin, which is just between Twin Creeks and Marigold, just east of Lone Tree.
Okay.
Okay, in the gravels. Okay, and the results there are showing a groundwater chemistry plume. Okay, nice little cartoon. Okay, but there's real values in the groundwater, and then it's connected. It ends with actually into bedrock that has gold in it. We're talking. I don't believe they're ore grade intercepts, but they're geochemical anomalies that if they were exposed in the range front would be, people would have been testing them all over the place. And the point is, we've taken an area that's completely covered, nobody knows anywhere what to do, and we've very systematically, at low cost, followed it right into actual gold in the bedrock. Okay, and it's not, in my mind, not an ore grade intercept, but in fact, it is being mined at a place across the road at Marigold, a few miles away. It's a bench height. Holy smokes, this is to them, it'd be a great intercept followed up. Well, I don't personally believe that that little anomaly that we have in bedrock is the source of all this gold in the groundwater. The size of that plume is much bigger. So there's a source that's even bigger somewhere nearby, and it's just likely just in a geochemical sense, an indicator in the bedrock that we need to keep following. Okay, the other place that we have is south of Cortez in Grass Valley. We call it Grass Valley. And then at the south end of that valley is another system that we have staked, that we own the mineral rights on 100%, called South Grass Valley.
Okay.
And they're all geochemical anomalies that all have the same characteristics, and what they all need to be is reduced now, defined, so the targets are clear, so that when we go to bring in a core drill, we're not just drilling one project and testing one little anomaly or one little section on a cartoon. We've got a very real statistical chance of being able to show the market that we found the intercept that proves the concept. And it's not just, you've proved the concept, good on you, Wade, okay? Because what do I get? What do my shareholders get? A brass plaque and you de-risked it for guys like Barrick, Newmont, the big competitors, the Gold Corps.
Well, since you have this ground staked, you can sell that to them, right?
Well, sure, but, and this is the point that I want to make, is that once the concept is proven, we've already done the work of taking 5,000 samples throughout the state of Nevada. And that's a subset of a 60,000 sample database that's in the public domain that we've put into our data. Nobody else has that. And so when we light the match that starts to burn, we found a deposit, okay, one interval, okay, that has the potential of being leveraged over all these other places quickly. And so what I want to do is increase the odds that the shareholders get a reasonable chance of having a real gold deposit, not just, oh, a flash in the pan, an interesting technical discovery. And that's the thing that's new about this story. Everybody's got 10 properties and they might get lucky and find something. What we've got is more than, we've got 3 properties, we've got another 5 we could stake, and I could go on with the other anomalies, that because there's no competition, nobody doing this, they're still open.
Right.
And as soon as I know that the technique works, I could go and stake them immediately, which will have been done before we make the announcement. And so the problem an investor is going to have is to think, well, how close are they? And how big is the potential? And what's the risk right now? And what we've tried to do is understand that the risk right now is very low. The potential is enormous. It's not one deposit. Nevada's produced upwards of 250 million ounces in many deposits. And there's just as much to be found in Nevada. It's just not in them their mountains, it's in them their valleys under the cover. And if you have a method to unlock that box, and you have a place that you've already staked, okay, the chances are very good that statistically it's going to be a winner. So, do you buy a few shares now? Relax. Okay, it's a big risk. I can't bet the bank. I don't want Marge, don't sell the house yet, but, let's put a few bucks and then watch it. And if we start to produce results, add some more. Buy some more, okay? That's how you chase something like that. Because if you miss it, you still own enough to where, holy smokes. Okay, and you still invest, look at the other stories, because there's hundreds of them. But my point is to think about, there's a lot, I heard it from T. Boone Pickens. There's opportunities are like buses. Another one comes along in 15 minutes. And what he's saying by that is, look, there's a lot of ways to make money. Why should I listen to your story? And why should I be involved in your way? Why are you involved in this? Really, why? Oh, to make money. That's a result, okay? And so what I'm trying to explain is, as an investor, you're going to have somebody that thinks that this is fun, and this is the reason why, and I'm trying to solve problems, and they have a track record of doing that.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, and it's a brand new way of finding gold, and so definitely one to keep your eyes on. Thanks very much for speaking to people.
Absolutely.
You folks stay tuned, and thanks a lot.
Okay.